With me now in this web-exclusive interview is Crystal Dunahee, President of Child Find Canada. She is also here to discuss a book that was written about her very, very tragic situation. The book is called Vanished. Crystal, thank you for being willing to share your story with us. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, on March 24th, 1991, as in any other weekend activity, I was on my way to the football field because I play women's football, and we had taken the children. My husband was with us, and on the way to the field, Michael had asked if he could play at the park.
Now this is your four-year-old son, Michael.
Yes, 4.5, almost 5, as he would tell you. So he had asked if he could play at the park. It was right behind our backs, like 100 yards away. So Bruce was helping me get our daughter, who was 6 months at the time, and our equipment to the side of the field. And in the time it took for him to help me do that, to go back to the playground right behind us, Michael was not there.
He disappeared literally in an instant.
In an instant.
So then what happened?
The police were contacted. Well, we did a perimeter search ourselves, and when we realized we couldn't find him, we had gone to a neighboring house before cell phones and asked for assistance, and they called the police, and from there we've been searching ever since.
And all this time, since 1991, despite all of the massive efforts that have taken place nationally and internationally, as I understand it, no clue.
Nothing.
Not one scintilla of evidence
Nope.
to give us any answers as to where your son is.
Yeah.
And this prompted you to become very committed to the cause of finding abducted children.
Yes.
And in those years, you have, well, you've worked your way up to president of Child Find. Tell us a little bit about your personal struggles through this. Because I don't think anybody can really understand it if they haven't gone through it.
No. Being president of Child Find Canada is very unique, being a parent of a missing child, because normally you run into people that are concerned citizens that want to help with the cause of keeping our children safe. So having a perspective of a parent of a missing child, it helps keep them in check as to what they're trying to get across and what is required by parent, like what kind of support parents need and the family needs to get through the struggle.
What kind of supports do they need?
Being able to communicate with other families that are going through the same process, knowing what resources are out there, working with the police, working closely with the police department, and relying on your local media to help you get the word out there as quickly as possible. Is
there a point after an abduction takes place where the age of the story starts to affect the level of commitment that the law enforcement authorities will have to finding your son? I
don't believe so. As long as it's an unsolved case, the police department they do whatever they possibly can to keep on top of any tip that comes in.
And so you have maintained a strong effort to try to locate him.
That's right. We chose at the time, when Michael first disappeared, they had asked us, what level do you want to take this to? Do you want to be very low-key? Do you want it national, out there?
You mean parents have a choice?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, why would anyone not want to make it as big an issue as they can in the hopes that somebody out there will recognize your son?
And that's exactly the route we chose. We chose to take it national as far as we could possibly reach, to let them know that we're not giving up no matter how long it takes.
That's right. And so far, they haven't been able to come up with anything, but you are confident that they are still looking?
Yes, most definitely. I keep in touch with the police department. They have, it's a new investigator that's involved in the case. So basically Michael's case has never been closed. It's not been archived. It's still sitting on the corner, sitting on someone's desk being worked on actively.
And what does this do to a marriage? I mean, you're in a marriage, you've got other children. How does some trauma like this affect the functioning of your marriage?
It affects it hugely, but we've managed to work our way through. We're still married, so which is uncommon for people that have gone through the same process.
I've heard that, that something as horrible as this, that one would think as an outsider might actually bring a couple closer together, can actually drive a wedge through a marriage. Why is that, do you think? You must have seen other families where this has happened.
Yeah, you hear of it all the time when the child goes missing. It's the blaming pointing blame, what could you have done differently? But we were both there. We both were involved with allowing him to go to the playground.
Which is such a natural thing.
It is, yeah.
It was broad daylight in a
Yeah.
playground.
There was cars, there was people, completely surrounded, and still no one saw anything.
There really isn't much else you could have done.
No.
And I think that's the cautionary tale here. Got to keep an eye on your children all the time, and never let up. Never give up hope. Thank you so much for being with us, Crystal. I sure hope your son is found.
Thank you.